Everybody, I am back and we are going to be planting new window boxes. So I had this plan years ago. I had this idea when I was building the outdoor kitchen with Sheldon that I wanted to make sure that the kitchen didn't feel really stark and didn't feel like it really wasn't planned well. We have this story and a half home. It's an older home, and sometimes when you're like adding new things to the property, it just like it dates it, or it's like, oh, I can tell you did that renovation in that year and that renovation in that year and that kind of stuff. So we've been working slowly but surely on this patio. Right now it's looking junky. I have like lawn chairs and all sorts of stuff up, but this patio originally started off with limestone, and we eventually built the pergola that is on top of it, and then we have the entrance to the back of the house. This is the only entrance that we use into the house. One day I would love to spruce it up and actually like do a double, like make it all grand, but you know what, in time. So these gardens were like the first thing that we ever did here on the property. When we bought this property, the house was actually condemned, and so we had to do a lot of work on it. That was 20 years ago, and now it's like, oh yeah, you know, the siding could be spruced up and this and that and whatever, but it's fine, and the house is sealed, so I'm not worrying about that. But these gardens, they have been here for quite some time. You can tell the bushes that we have there. That big one right there, that's a red dogwood. I literally dug that thing out of the bush here in our property, and I planted it in there, and it's just over years it's just gotten bigger and bigger. We prune it down a little bit and it just gets larger. It's awesome. So a goal that I had when I was creating this spot was to actually create a little bit of a nook for the patio, that we would have a place to hang out. And it was unfortunate to me that it was right along the driveway, as you can see. So the cars are usually parked right here. And I wanted to make sure that we weren't just like looking at cars, but that we would have nice scenery. And so that's why I ended up planting larger bushes along this outer edge, so that we are creating a little bit more of a nook. And so where the cars are parked, we can't really actually see too much of them anymore because of the bush. But we built this kitchen. This kitchen has actually been basically we do a step every once in a while. So originally it was just treated lumber. It was open shelving like you saw there, and it was all just that color of the treated lumber. We wanted to figure out a way that we could create like a barbecue station, a cooking station. That took a couple of years. I'll show you that. But last year we went ahead and we actually closed this in. So those are cabinets with the shelving that we see here. That kind of shelving is behind these cabinets, and we just closed it off. Then we also put concrete countertops on there. We have the concrete countertops inside. These are unfinished, and these were actually we poured this concrete in pouring rain, which was super sad. We were worried that we had completely ruined it, but we didn't. It did get a little weak, and we've had to put some kind of support here underneath this portion here, because there is some cracking that you can see there. Thankfully the sink overhangs on there, and so then you don't see too much of it. So as I was saying earlier, this patio was originally limestone. We had a limestone entry with the steps going down to the driveway were railway ties. That was the original patio that we had, and we actually had a railway tie right here, and it stepped down. The depth of the railway tie, it stepped down, and then we had a seating area here, and basically all it was Adirondack chairs and a fire bowl. Now it has been probably, I want to say about 6 years now that we've had this patio. It is wonderful because it reduces the amount of stone we get into our entrance. When we built this garden around the patio, we had a tree, a big mountain ash that was growing right here, and it was larger than the house. It was huge. I had never seen a mountain ash like that in my life, and it died, and I think I killed it. It did not like all the limestone, and it started dying, and so it was super sad. When we had to cut it down, I told Sheldon, this area is so hot in summertime, we cannot just keep it unsheltered. That tree was hanging over the patio, and so then we had that shade. And it's like, we can't do that. So I asked him if we could build a big pergola. As you see here above, we have this wonderful pergola. This definitely helps with the shade. And then we made something that we could maybe improve on. But this right here is actually a roll out covering, and we just made it out of a tarp, and we've had to replace the tarp once or twice. No, once. And it has the mechanics. We use the mechanics coming from a roll tarp of a green truck. So here you can see the handle is right here, and if we follow it all the way up till there, you can see it's just the mechanics of the roll tarp. And then we have you can see that rope right there. It's like sails, so we can go and we can just yank in the 3 locations. We kind of have it at every beam here and then back there. We can just yank on those ropes, and this whole entire canopy just comes out. And then we can sit here in rain, we can sit here and it's shaded. But it's amazing what the pergola does and how it just actually creates enough shade that it's comfortable here. Also, this is right along the whole entire edge of the driveway, and so our yard is very sheltered, but that's where the wind comes through, is right there, and so we do get a little bit of air movement. So these are all the steps. This is what we've done. This garden here, you know, it's just a bunch of hostas and different types of lilies. I went ahead and I created this path last year, and I have one rogue rock you can see right there. It likes to come out. Talk about safety, right? But I had a week last year where I was doing really, really well, and I just said that's it. And so I went and I got all these rocks, and there's a step down right here. We step down, and we have another step down, and then this rock, it keeps getting hooked with the on the water hose, and then it ends up moving. So I need to do something better with that. But there you get a better idea of what it looks like with the steps up. This is something we commonly use when we're heading off to the barn and deal with the animals, go collect eggs, that kind of stuff. And you guys, this is just what it looks like. There's weeds and everything on it. I did not go through my garden and decide to give you this fantastic garden tour. Hadn't even thought that I was giving you a garden tour. But some of the little details that we did, we actually cut the brick around the rocks. So the rocks are literally built right into the patio. It gives it great detail, and it just makes it beautiful. I absolutely love rocks, and I think if you watched my channel long enough, you know that. And then we have here at the end, we have another little path, and this one right here is actually what gave me the initial idea to do the path on the other side, and it just looks like that. You've seen this garden before. Lilies are done blooming. Oh, lilies. Irises are done blooming. And then the last thing I want to show you on the patio is this barbecue area. This we created just, you know, out of my kind of creative self. this is what I do. I'm like, how can we do it? How can we do it? How can we make sure we tie everything in? Because we have the patio door right there. How are we going to make this happen? So we actually extended, it's kind of looks like an extension of the countertop. And then we just have, brace yourselves, or should I brace myself? I don't even know what this looks like, how dirty it is, but okay. So there you have it. We just have one of those 3-burner stovetops with a barbecue attachment on it. And then, so we can be like barbecuing here and we can be making French fries right there on the open deep fryer. That is really awesome. I absolutely love that. It works really well. And yeah, and then we can store all our tanks underneath there. So that's your quick little tour of our patio area. Didn't know that that's what I was doing because I actually just wanted to go fill these new garden boxes up, and it's like, oh, they've actually never seen the patio, so you got to see it raw. I haven't done anything with the patio and it's dirty. The brick needs a washing. This is from all the muddy days of planting. This table is actually, it's in the middle of being sanded down, and then I am going to restain it. But the main reason why we're out here is Sheldon and we made our window boxes finally. So we just took 1x4s and we just quickly, nailed something together. We added a little bit of extra strength right here on the edges. These are 2x4s. And then, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line them in plastic. And then I'm going to plant them. So I went to greenhouses with Nettie today. I am a sucker for coral. Super, super beautiful. It's going to look great on there. And I've never seen this plant before. This is a lemon, what did they call it? A lemon drop. But have you guys seen that? Terrenia? Probably some of you guys have. But there's BOGO deals out there. So I decided to go ahead with grabbing just something a little bit extra. So let's get planting. This basket is done. Looking really nice. I was curious about how these were going to turn out in there, and they actually look really, really nice. They just add a little bit of extra texture. So now we will plant this one. Just need to head to the garage to get more soil. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on our puppies. They do not appreciate being in the barn. It's too warm. We are still on this big hot streak, and it's like 30 degrees every single day. It hasn't rained in forever. So look at this. We've got puppy puddles. And look at this sweetie. Hey, sweetie pie. Oh, there's a little eye. There's a little eye. So we've put collars on them. This is Purple. It's a little female. She actually is the only one who has extra coloring. So I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but on her head, yeah, there you go. On her head, you can see there's a lot of orange. I'm gonna bring her back to her siblings. And it's actually funny. Every single time I come check out on the puppy puddle, it's her and it's this one, dark blue. They're always off on their own somewhere. Puppies are doing great. Most of them have their eyes open. So that started probably about 4 days ago. Puppies were opening their eyes. And as you can tell, they're getting mobile. They're moving around. They're actually getting up on all 4 feet, and they're walking around. They're shaky. They flip, they flop, and everything, but they're moving. So those are going up for sale. Sheldon and I just had a weekend at home. It was Father's Day weekend. Yesterday was Father's Day. Today's Monday. And so we had a morning with our kids. Sheldon and her son Jaden, they went out biking, mountain biking. And Morgan and I stayed at home and we made brunch, and we had brunch when they all got back and just hung out here, and it was a wonderful time. But then for the rest of the weekend, Sheldon and I were at home. We were doing nothing. We sat around the fire. I should say we did nothing. Sheldon would say something different. For me, I actually have a really, really hard time sitting still. I just, you know what? Being sick for as long as I've been sick and being confined to a bed, I was confined to a bed for 3 months straight, not moving, and then trying therapy and trying to like get moving, and that would just cause seizures and stuff. Like, it was 6 months of just lying around feeling terrible. And so I told Sheldon all the time, once I feel better, you're not going to be able to keep up with me. And so on a weekend like this, when we did nothing, it maybe was something, but it just wasn't as much as I wanted to do. So we did build these boxes last week on one of the evenings, but I still needed to stain them, and so I did that on the weekend. Gardens obviously needed to be tended to, so I was picking around in my gardens, and I'm going to give you a tour of my garden shortly. Just let you see how things are going, how some plants have changed, but everything is in the ground. Then Friday night, we went and picked up lumber, so you can see that there. That lumber is for the archway that we are going to be putting right there in the center of the garden. We already have roses planted there. Oh, now I'm distracted. Now I'm taking you there. Of course, why not? So I have already planted the roses here, and we have decided that we are going to till up this grass. It's very lumpy. It's hard for me to walk on. So we're going to till it up, and we're just going to lay straw down on it. But I do have two rose bushes here. These are the Above and Beyond roses. I absolutely love how they come out looking really, really rich. They do go white pretty quickly though. They kind of blush out to white, yellowish, something like that. But loving the fact that I have these roses here, and like you can see, oh, maybe you can't. You can see, I'm just zooming in, the rose bushes over there. So that post right there, that was Friday night. That was me doing nothing. I actually went and I dug a hole when Sheldon was just hanging out on the lawn, resting like I was supposed to be doing. But I have been feeling amazing. For the last 2 weeks, just been feeling great. I have only had one seizure. We are past the middle of June. What are we at? The 17th, the 18th? And I had only had 2 seizures. I was feeling so good. I was so excited about things that were happening. And so I took that big beam. That's a 6x6 beam. It's 12 feet long. First of all, I went and I dug the hole. It was 2 feet down, and I was able to do that. And then I asked Sheldon, that beam was on the bottom of on the back of the truck. And I asked Sheldon, "Do you think that I can do this?" And he goes, "No." So of course I did it. He actually got video of it. I'm going to put it in here. You can sell my walker. I'm done. I was literally yelling, sell the walker, just sell the walker. Look at me go. I was so excited. I carried that beam all the way there, plopped it into the hole, and I was exhausted. By the time I got to Sheldon, there was beads of sweat coming down my face. So that was me doing nothing this weekend. But I had a really hard time not doing more. I asked Sheldon, I said, is this what people do? People like work like crazy in their jobs all week long, and then they come home and they just sit? I can't do that. I cannot do that. He laughed at me. He's like, yeah, you were cleaning here, and then you were doing this, and then you were doing that and everything. And I mostly at work on Sunday mornings. But that was when everything changed. Saturday night, I ended up having a really bad seizure, and I had seizures all the way through the night. I'm still recovering. I'm trying to get this done quickly so I can go have a nap. But it was horrendous. And Sheldon actually went to go look at the pressure system, and he said that it was white. So we always talk colors. So when the pressure system's really, really high, it's like red or purple. When it's really low, it's blue to light blue. Kind of like the optimal place for it to be is like yellow, green, and like darker blue. That's like the best place for me to be in. I can be my best in that time. My body doesn't react. But Sheldon said it went to white. It went from light blue to white. The pressure was so low, and we had some cooler days, and now we're back to the hot days. And that's exactly what happened. And my body did not like it. I couldn't make it into work yesterday. I had seizures all the way till at least noon. And so me being so proud, I was like, I've only had 2 seizures. Throw that away. I've had so many seizures, and I have this crazy pain in my head. But I can overlook that for the most part. And I can still get things done that I want to get done. So I kind of was forced to rest yesterday, a lot more than what I wanted to. But you guys, I'm just itching to get out. I want to build the archway. Like, I seriously thought, like, if I feel good enough today, I'm going to build that archway before Sheldon even gets home. But no, I'm going to plant these garden boxes, and that's it. I'm just planting the window boxes. So let's finish this off, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And there we have it. The window boxes are done. And I made the countertop nice and messy. So it inspired me to actually wash the patio, which you can hardly tell. But and there it is. I absolutely love those boxes. They are definitely doing exactly what I was hoping. They're just bringing more, it's tying everything in together. It's creating this to look a little bit more like a space, like a room. And so it's really, really nice. So as always, I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I want you to remember that you might have some limitations, but that does not mean you're limited. Have a great day.